everyone, I'm Raissa and I'm bringing you now a new podcast of the blog Só Futebol now. This Saturday afternoon, the temperature here in Natal is about 28 degrees, but it really feels like 29 degrees Celsius. It's a little bit hot as normal here. We have a sunny sky, it's beautiful. And today we're going to talk about intolerance. You know that this week we had some horrible facts in the USA. We had 2 people who were killed by police officers, apparently with no reason. One of them, the wife just filmed all the scene after his death. And then we had this reaction. I don't know if I can call this reaction because for me it was really an act of murder. Really, it's not a kind of reaction, but there was a protest in Dallas, and then I believe we had 3 men that killed some police officers. Last time that I checked this news on CNN, the numbers were like 11 police officers that were shot and 5 were killed. So I don't know exactly when we became so intolerant as we see nowadays. Sometimes we have this feeling that we are getting back. I talked to you about this last Saturday, about all this evolving thing that we think that we are going in one direction, and then after a while we see that we are in fact back at where we were. So I believe in this matter of intolerance, I believe that we are really getting back to old times, because when we think that people are getting this idea of freedom, this idea that everybody should be respected, doesn't matter the color of their skin, doesn't matter their religion, doesn't matter their gender or sex, it doesn't matter if they're rich or poor. And then we have these facts happening, they are happening in the USA, you know, the country that is called the home of free. So we have a big picture of what's happening in the world today. And so we understand that intolerance is back, and it's back for good. That's really sad for us, because I really can't understand how you cannot... Oops, I lost connection. No, I'm back. That we are all a mixture coming from Indians, Portuguese people, from black people. Am I back? Now? Yes? Okay, I'm sorry. I just had a little misconnection here, but it's back. So I really don't understand why white people should be better than black people, and backwards, you know. It's really interesting that now we have all this reaction of black people killing white people, killing police officers. We can't have this kind of intolerance. It's really not rational to do that. It's not reasonable. I can't understand that. And I believe this wave of intolerance, it started really with this political thing. You know, in Brazil, for example, we've been experiencing this since 2014. We had all these left ideas and right ideas, and people sometimes got into fights because of that. And it really started to grow, and now we have some people with, I have to say, extreme ideas, because if you think about left ideas and right ideas, we have some good ideas in both of them. But we have some people that are really extreme, and they are really intolerant, and this kind of war between these political ideas, this war is just getting people really aggressive towards other people. And we see that on Facebook too. So I remember that some people just disconnected They erased their account from Facebook during the campaign here in Brazil. And this kind of thing is happening now in the USA too, with this big Trump versus Clinton. And people are getting really aggressive. They don't want to listen to other people just because they have a different kind of thought. So it's something that is getting crazy, you know. I just can't believe that we are in the 21st century. Sometimes I feel that we are back like 200 years ago or 300 years ago, that we had just a kind of a mainstream and you had to follow this. You couldn't have any different opinion, because if you have a different opinion, you're going to be killed, you know, you're going to be pursued. And it sounds strange. And we have that now, for example, on social media, social network. If you say something that other people, you publish something on Facebook, for example, Twitter, that other people think that it's wrong, wow, I'm sorry, you're gonna suffer because of that forever. And people are not really thinking that we are talking about human beings, that we make mistakes. No, it's just a question of you're wrong, and I have to point that you're wrong, and I have to make you disappear from social network. And that is the idea that is happening now. And I'm really sorry that we are experiencing this kind of thing in this 21st century. But this is the kind of intolerance that we are experiencing now. You know, as I told you, we had this racial intolerance, the best. I don't know if I can use this word best because it sounds like it's something good, but I think the best picture of that is what is happening now in the USA. With these protests and the killing of police officers, and also people being killed by police officers too. We have this picture of the political intolerance both in the USA and in Brazil, and of course we have all around the world. It's not only here, it's in Europe, it's there too. We can see this from this Brexit thing, that the British people decided to leave the European Union just to be different, just because they don't want to see immigrants. And well, I'm not going to discuss this over here because it would take a whole podcast only for this thing, but it's this kind of intolerance. This is a reflection of that, I'm quite sure. We have gender intolerance when we think that women are just as the same as men, and then we see some news about, for example, only this year the USA got their soccer teams, both male and female soccer teams. Only this year they got equal salary. So wow, we're talking about the biggest country that represents freedom in the world. And this country only this year got to this idea that soccer players, it doesn't matter the gender, they should have the same salary. If they play the same, they get the same. So we still have these things 21st century. And this kind of intolerance on social media, I'm going to tell you about something that happened this week in Brazil, and it really got my attention. A boy, we're talking about children, you know, a little boy. I believe he was 5 or 6 years old. He was at school and he got impatient because one of his classmates, it was a little girl, just blocked the stairs at the last step of the stairs. And this little boy, impatient as children are, this little boy just decided to push his classmate, and this little girl fell down the stairs. Thank God it was the last stairs, or the last step of the stairs. But this thing got something really out of reason in Brazil. People started to talk about this. Someone published this on Facebook, and then we got all these protests, people saying that, oh, that's because this boy is a representative of men, and men think that they can beat women anytime they want. So it's a question of violence. And wow, it got really big for something that happened in a school, and it's really similar to what children do every day, because children, they fight, children, they laugh, children, they love each other one moment, then they hate each other. It's children, it happens. But then the boy's mother, she decided to buy some flowers, and she told the boy to give the flowers to his classmate, the little girl that was pushed, and he would say sorry for this little girl. And it was a beautiful gesture, because it was the idea that the boy understood that what he had done was wrong, and that he should apologize, and he did it in a very beautiful way. So the girl's mother told the little girl to accept the flowers and to accept the apologies. And so we thought everything was settled, everything was correct, no problems, we got over this. But then we got lots of people on Facebook criticizing the girl's mother, saying that she was teaching a lesson to her daughter that she would get, if she got beaten by someone, by a boy, by a man, she would accept flowers and that's it, then you can beat me again. Jesus Christ, it was, completely wrong, completely the opposite idea. And this mother decided to publish some words on Facebook about this, saying that it was incredible that people didn't get the right message from this, that the boy was sorry, the boy was wrong, he understood he was wrong, and that his girl, that her girl, her children, her child, her little girl was accepting the apology because she understood that the boy wouldn't do that again. So this is just an example of how intolerant we became, even on this social media. It seems to me that every time that we are there, we are just trying to investigate, we are ready to judge people, to point mistakes, as if people should be perfect. We are not perfect. We are human beings. We make mistakes, but it sounds like if you make a mistake, you can't correct that. That mistake will be with you forever. And even though you try to make things right, you can't make things right. You will be wrong forever, will be punished forever. So this is the idea that is really growing in the world nowadays. I'm really worried. I'm really concerned about this idea of intolerance that we have. But unfortunately, that's the reality that we are living now. Intolerance is everywhere. People are getting even aggressive about it, and it doesn't matter what is the reason. For me, it seems like we are just waiting for some reason to really get all this intolerance out in direction to someone. So it doesn't matter why. We just want to be aggressive. We just want to be intolerant. And I'm quite sure that we have to do something about it. We have to understand that social media is not about perfect people. We have to understand that living with each other is not about being perfect. We can't be perfect. We try to, but we can't be. And we have to understand that we are no better than other people. It doesn't matter the color of your skin, how much money you have, what kind of political ideas you have, if you are a man or a woman, if you are a Muslim or if you are a Catholic, if you are from Brazil, if you are from Europe, if you are from Africa. It doesn't matter. We are all the same. We are just human beings. We can make mistakes, and we are no better than each other. So the big point of life is respect. We have to respect each other's. I don't have to agree with your ideas, but I have to respect the fact that you have different ideas, different from my ideas, right? So that's the point. And so that was the talk that I had to have today. I don't want to be really long today because this kind of subject, I think it's really a bad subject. It brings me down a little. I don't like this kind of facts that happens in the world and show intolerance. So maybe next week we'll talk about something good, I hope. And that's it, guys. So we finish here. I hope to see you here back tomorrow if you want to hear from soccer teams from Natal. And next week if you want to talk about light things, all right? But just remember, let's respect each other. Bye-bye.